On the 23rd of April, people across England celebrate St. George's Day. St. George is the patron saint of England, but what do we really know about him? Well, according to the legend, he was brave, he wore a suit of armour and rode a horse. He fought a mighty dragon to save a princess who was in trouble. The story of St. George is a popular one. It's been told for at least 1,600 years, and over that time, it's changed a bit. Well, a lot actually. For example, the whole rescuing the princess bit may well have been borrowed from the story of Perseus, who rescued Princess Andromeda from a sea monster. This is actually an ancient Greek myth. It's believed St. George was a real person, but he wasn't English. He probably came from a place called Cappadocia in modern-day Turkey. And instead of being a knight, he was a Roman soldier at the time of Emperor Diocletian in the 4th century. And this was when the real story began. Diocletian believed in the Roman gods and wanted Christians to worship them as well. When they refused, Diocletian was very angry. He ordered his soldiers to set churches on fire and throw priests in prison. Although he was a Roman soldier, George was also a Christian and very brave. He spoke out against Diocletian and his reign of terror. And even when he was sentenced to death, George stayed true to his faith. When someone dies for their beliefs, they're called a martyr. Over 200 years later, Pope Gelasius, head of the Christian Church, decided George should be made a saint. This is a great honour, as only the most virtuous and holy people are chosen to become saints. After George died, his body was taken to a city called Lydda, which is now called Lod, in modern-day Israel. There, a church was built and named after him, and his remains were buried in it. Well, most of them were. It was common at the time for bits of saints and their belongings to be removed and given to churches across the Christian world. These were called relics and were often kept in containers made of gold and precious stones called a reliquary. People believed that relics gave them a special connection to the saint or could be used to perform miracles. In fact, Windsor Castle is said to have once held 2 of St. George's fingers and bits of his skull and heart. In the centuries following his death, St. George appeared in many paintings and books, which is where all the extra bits of the story have been added in. One of the best-known stories was included in a collection called The Golden Legend from 1266. In the story, St. George rescues a king's daughter from a dragon, and in return, the people agree to be baptised and become Christian. St. George's legendary bravery led to English kings and their armies flying the flag of St. George while wearing a red cross on a white background also showed their Christian faith. In the 14th century, King Edward III of England made St. George the patron saint of the noble order of the Garter, who were a group of important knights. And that's when St. George became the patron saint of England. St. George isn't just patron saint of England though. He's also patron saint of Portugal and Georgia, as well as a number of cities. His red cross is shown not once, but 5 times on the flag of Georgia. He's even pictured slaying the dragon on the Russian coat of arms. The red cross of St. George also appears on the Union Jack, or Union flag, to give it its proper name. It combines the flag of St. Patrick for Ireland and St. Andrew for Scotland, together with England's cross of St. George. So, as you can see, St. George is a pretty popular saint, not just in England, but in many other places too. Well, if you were a legend known for extreme bravery and awesome dragon-slaying skills, you'd be pretty popular too.